Pinoy! 𝐍𝐿 Pinoy! Join the action-packed battles of Game of the Immortals! Introducing Johnny Park, Natalia, Kenjiro, soon to unlock, Marinli, Sister Christina. Hurry and play now to unlock more levels. Game of the Immortals, available on Google Play and App Store. Download now. 𝐍𝐿 Pinoy! Download now. Available on Google Play and App Store. Gawon Pinoy! Come and join the fighting actions here with Johnny Park, Natalia, and Kenjiro. Game of the Immortals. Available on the Google Play and App Store. Download now. Gawon Pinoy! The first ever progressive role-playing fighting game, Game of the Immortals. Available now on Google Play and App Store. Gawon Pinoy!
This copyrighted broadcast of the National Athletic Association of Schools, Colleges, and Universities may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of Nudge Plus.
Another day, another challenge for the future generation of Philippine basketball athletes. We welcome you to the Philippine Christian University and DASMARINAS CAVITE, home of the Dolphins. And we're holding the last game of today. This is, of course, no other than NAASCU Season 22 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐒𝐿. And our match at hand, the PCU Dolphins going up against the University Kings, as PCU holding a record of 1-1, losing to Fatima, winning against HAU, and then on the other side, AWA unfortunately garnering 2 straight losses. So both teams will want to rack up wins to, as much as possible, start the season on a good note. But right now, we'll start this game, turning it over to Stephanie Benito for a pre-game report.
During the last season, it was the PCU Dolphins that dominated the game against the AMA Kings. Something that they would want to do again in today's game. Dahil basta na daw ng team ang individual tendencies ng kalaban, alam na nila kung paano i-contain ang mga ito. Pero syempre, hindi naman papayag ang ating AMA Kings dahil dyan. Sabi sa akin ni Coach 𝐍ᴜᴅญ่ that he believes that their team that's composed of veterans and 2 fresh talents can take the Dolphins down. Now, will this be a revenge victory for the AMA Kings or a complete domination for the PCU Dolphins? Abangan natin yan.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for that report. Again, our match at hand, the PCU Dolphins and the University Kings clash. And today's last game, the 5th game of our day. And thank you very much to everybody who's tuning in. Of course, you could catch us in Blast TV for only 149 pesos a month. You could tune in to your favorite shows, and of course, NAASCU Season 22. So the starters of each team will now be announced, starting with the University Kings. Christian Kamay, their team captain, the 3rd-year forward. And then there's 2 guys as well. 𝐍ᴜᴅ, then that's Dawis as well, number 71. And Magpayo. No man in the middle, because they're a small team. And then on the other side, to their convenience, they have Solomon Itam, their FSCA, Christian Austria, Failon, Pasqua, and Troy Manipolo. Perhaps, probably the best scorer of this team, the PCU Dolphins.
Yes, and as you can see, the last game of PCU, and they won against Holy Angels, 74-66. PCU shot 41% in the field, grabbed 48 rebounds, and committed, and they let Holy Angels commit 19 turnovers.
But what you don't want to do if you're PCU is to underestimate the AMA Kings. I mean,
Yes.
these guys may be small, and they are definitely small. But again, you know, the shooting compensates for it, their speed compensates for it. And not to mention, they made the Final Four last season.
Yes, 100%. And as you can see, Kama is their captain last year, leading the way during that time. And he mentioned that they won against CUP in the quarters, and then on the semis they lost against Fatima University.
And indeed, underrated are these Kings from AMA. But on the side of PCU, I mean, you know, an import is an import. The height, you know, the convenience,
Yes.
the safety you feel whenever you're taking a long range shot. You know that there's someone like Solomon Itam.
Yes.
But this time, first bucket of the game belonging to the AMA Kings, a three-pointer.
And again, we know that AMA has that shooters in their roster. But for the part of PCU last year, they were in the quarterfinals, although they lost against Endaran during that time. So there was an early exit for Coach B-Boy and the Dolphins.
So definitely both teams having high aspirations. Pero sa ngayon nga lang, mas magandang start ng PCU, at least
Yes.
for now. As AMA just, 2 games in this season, anything could still happen. Meanwhile, that's no good from Earl, the Pearl Siniza. That's one guy that PCU should look out for. Because, you really can't spell AMA, I mean figuratively, without
Yes.
Pearl. Earl, the Pearl Siniza.
And he's averaging 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists during these 2 games.
Yeah, and that's what he can do. Meanwhile, Christian Austria of PCU will score for them.
That's the first bucket para dito sa PCU, which is it's their home court.
Definitely their home court. Perhaps their second home court, as there's also a PCU in Taft.
Oh,
and,
yes.
I'm sure that these players are enrolled dun sa Taft
Yes.
campus because dun yung college. Nonetheless, I think we're seeing some PCU DASMARINAS students tuning into our last game of the day right now in the audience. So definitely somewhat of a home court advantage. Meanwhile, the lucky bounce goes in for Pascua.
And that was a great pass in the part of Falyon for cutting pass Pascua.
Meanwhile, it's 7-3. AMA made that 3 earlier. They will fire one more time, but that is overcooked. Possession will go to the Dolphins.
And that possession, you didn't see the ball moving around from side to side. And if you're AMA and you're a small ball, you want to make sure that you're moving that basketball.
Meanwhile, Troy Manipolo will miss that shot. On the other side, Villamor basket, the end one. What a sequence for the AMA Kings. Once again, that is Villamor. A chance to make it a 3-point play.
And that's what they're known for. Just take a look at that fast break opportunity by Villamor and end one.
And not only is it that they're known for that, but one more thing is they don't really have any choice.
Yes.
They're small. They will have to really outshoot their opponent. They will have to outrun their opponents.
So expect a fast-paced game for AMA for this game.
Meanwhile, PCU swings it around. Pascua sends it inside. Oh, basket, the end one. As Failon gets it going for him.
And that's a poor recovery para dito kay Ambao. Not knowing that he has an opponent already cutting. And ito nga tong si number 10, Failon.
And Lionel Failon makes it a 5-point lead for the Dolphins. Siniza brings it down for the AMA Kings. He finds Yambao up top, picked up by Christian Austria. It's back to 𝐍𝐜₅. He will step back, he will fire, but he won't knock it down. 𝐍ⴜᴅᴅ gets it back though. And a steal right here. Great defense coming from the Dolphins. Meanwhile, Troy Manipolo, what a play. What a fast break play coming from the Dolphins.
And great anticipation there by Manipolo passing the ball for a trailer Philon.
Meanwhile, from the three-point land, that's good. That's 𝐍𝐜₅.
And that's a second three-pointer para dito sa AMA.
And they will have to rack up a lot of threes. Again, that is indeed their game plan. Meanwhile, no good. Another try, Solomon Itam using his height.
And that's what you want to see in the part of PCU, crashing the boards. And this time,
here comes Ceniza. Sends it to the corner. Another try from deep. That is overcooked. Rebound by Lionel Philon. He has nowhere to go. Sends it up top. Pasqua. Oh, that was intended for Philon, but he wasn't paying attention. So 𝐍ⴜᴅᴅ gets a hold of it. He will attack. 𝐍ⴜᴅᴅ will lay it in.
and papansin mo, the players of AMA, they're good finishers. They can finish off transition.
And again, they have no choice at the end of the day. They will have to really sink those shots. Meanwhile, Philon hands it off to Manipolo as he fires a three, but that won't sink. Rebound by Dawis. And now let's turn it over first to Stephanie Benito for a report.
Alam niyo, Cho and Coach Quito, kahit na pangatlong laro pa lang ng kupunan para sa season na ito, ay hindi maiwasan ni Coach B-Boy Simon Ayases at i-point out ang lapses at mistakes ng Dolphins the past few games. Ang sabi sa akin ni Coach, number one ang problem niya with the team is their ball rotation. May ilan daw kasing gustong mag-take charge that sometimes costs them points. Pangalawa ay ang depensa ng koponan. Napansin kasi ni Coach na ang bilis mag-collapse ng defense ng team, especially during crucial moments. Lahat naman daw ng ito ay inaral at tinanabaho nila during training. Sana daw kung gaano daw sila kagaling sa ensayo ay ilabasin daw nila sa actual na laro. Ngayon tignan natin kung magre-reflect ba ang inensayo nila sa laro ngayong araw. Balik muna sa inyo.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for that report. And, talking about PCU, you know, if you watch basketball, if you're a basketball fan, you're no stranger to the name that is PCU Dolphins.
Yes, 100%. And you see a lot of products na developed nitong PCU, especially in PBAs. There are players who came from PCU.
The likes of Jason Castro, Obelga, Gabby Espina.
Gabby Espinas, yes. They're the big three of PCU back then.
And of course, Robert Sands. Less popular, but still worth mentioning. But right now, it's an 8-point lead for the Dolphins. Nonetheless, the Kings putting up a fight. As possession will stay with AMA. Inbound. The attack, Ceniza. Hands it off, 𝐍𝐜₅. He will fade away from deep, but that is short. Rebound by Itam.
And you can see that all of the shots of AMA is really disrupted by the long stretch arms of PCU.
Meanwhile, Maliabo sends it inside, but that's gonna be a foul called on 𝐍ⴜᴅᴅ.
And that's Kamai's first personal foul.
Take another look on this foul again, committed by 𝐍ⴜᴅᴅ. Still freebies coming up for PCU. His first one is no good, coming from Hans Lieva.
And Hans Lieva is averaging 9.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.5 assists.
Putback is still no good for the Dolphins, but they're still up by 8. Ceniza drops Itam for a short while. Villamor, high pass, but they retain possession, and Ceniza will miss that three-pointer. Here comes Austria. He rises, and that's good on that elbow jumper from Christian Austria.
That's a good pull-up jumper para dito kay Austria.
So far has 8 points in this game. Meanwhile, Seniza to 𝐍𝐜ᴅᴜ. High pass, back to Seniza. That is blocked by Itam and picked up by Maliabo. Maliabo will settle outside. Austria drops it. Great find to his teammate in Pascua.
And that's a great anticipation by Pascua, cutting and wheeling off on the other side.
Take another look on what happened right there. Again, great find as Christian Austria locates the open Pascua. And a timeout called right here by Ama. And we shall take a short break. Back to the action right here. After that timeout from the AMA Kings. They're down by 12. Double digits. Giving PCU a little breathing room as we're still in our first chapter, under 2 minutes remaining. At AMA, a chance to minimize the lead. Kamay will hand it off. 𝐍𝐜ᴅᴜ. Another handoff. They're still outside, but they will enter the paint. Seniza finds an opening inside.
A great spin move there for Seniza, having his first bucket of this quarter.
That's Earl the Pearl. So far has 2 points, 4 boards, and 3 dimes. Meanwhile, Maliabo in and out of that shot. Rebound grabbed by Earl. Here comes the AMA Kings. Seniza to 𝐍𝐜ᴅᴜ. He attacks. He sends it out. They will fire for 3, and that will connect.
Oh, that's a great kick-out pass para dito kay 𝐍𝐜ᴜᴜ to an open teammate, Yambao.
So that is the second 3 ball of Yambao in this game. And meanwhile, is that going to be a foul? Oh, yes, indeed, a foul will be called, and 2 freebies.
And that's a foul called on Kamay.
Pascal will shoot 2 from the line as they're up by 7. First one on its way. That is good. So far, it's 7 points for Pascua. Second one on its way. That is no good. 𝐍𝐜ᴜᴜ getting that rebound.
What a box out there for 𝐍𝐜ᴜᴜ of a 5'10" guy.
Exactly. Out rebounding a much bigger defender. Meanwhile, Earl the Pearl. They swing it around. Yambao thought about the 3. Good passing. Kamay open. He won't hit it though. But that was a good play.
Yes. They move the ball around. They attack the basket and kick it out.
Maliabo from the corner. He won't hit it. He will get it back. But that's no good. Sorry, miss right there for Maliabo, but nonetheless, they do have an 8-point lead after the first period, 25-17. As both teams actually playing very well, but as of the first quarter, it's PCU in the driver's seat as we return for the start of the second quarter. Back to the action right here as we proceed to chapter number 2. It's 25-17. It's an 8-point gap in favor of the PCU Dolphins. But still, again, both teams playing very well. And, just a slight edge probably to the PCU Dolphins.
Yes, that's correct. And it's because of their height advantage, as you can see that mismatch between 𝐍𝐜ᴅ and 𝐍∗₅.
And with that, it becomes a 10-point lead in favor of PCU. But looks like 𝐍ⴜᴅ has something to say about that.
Yes, and that's 𝐍ⴜᴅ's 9th point in the game already. And now that's the 4th 3 points para dito sa AMA.
Yes, John Chris 𝐍ⴜᴅ. They will have to put a hand on his face. Meanwhile, no good in that fadeaway. And PCU unable to save the basketball, so it'll go to the AMA Kings.
You can see the guts of AMA playing matchup against the taller guys of PCU.
Meanwhile, inside, Kamay sends it out. Good find. No good in that 3-ball. Rebound captured by Itam. And PCU calling up a play. It's Daluz directing the offense. Solomon up top, up against Kamay. Hands it off to Daluz. And they have 9 seconds to work with. Daluz will attack. He will scoop it up and he will scoop it in.
A great layup here in the part of Daluz.
Meanwhile, 𝐸ℒ dusting off his defenders.
Oh, what a layup there by 𝐸ℒ using that left hand layup.
Not wasting any time there was the Pearl. Meanwhile, Daluz. It's a pick from Itam. Unusual screen application as that was in the corner.
Yes.
Nonetheless, PCU still has this possession. Rotoni behind the back pass to Maliabo, but that won't go in. Itam able to keep it alive for PCU. Meanwhile, one-hander that's good for Luis Rotoni.
And you gotta give credit to Itam grabbing that offensive rebound and a chance to get another basket for PCU.
Meanwhile, another 3-point attempt. That won't go in. Kamay fights for the board. It will stay with the AMA Kings.
Look at how Kamay work on that play. Trying to out-jump a 6'4" guy.
Baseline inbound. Seniza the spin. Could have been a highlight play for 𝐸ℒ. Nonetheless, it's a 9-point lead. Oh, no look pass to from Daluz to his teammate.
And that's a great find para dito kay Daluz.
That was his teammate Hans 𝐍ⴜᴅ. Meanwhile, oh, what a play right there, orchestrated by Cruz of AMA.
And basket after basket after basket para dito for both teams. And I want to see how AMA can make a stop here.
It's back to a 9-point lead. Rotoni will miss that easy jumper. Meanwhile, AMA trying to figure things out. 𝐍ⴜᴅ sends it out. 𝐸ℒ, he's up top, sends it to the left wing. Baseline drive, 𝐍ⴜᴅ blocked by Solomon Itam. But Christian Kamay, being aware of where the ball was at, grabbed it and then draws a foul for himself.
Christian Kamay setting a good example to all of his teammates. Trying to grab that rebound.
So Kamay at the line, the team captain of this AMA Kings squad. His 3rd year playing for AMA, but in total he has been in AMA for 10 years.
Yes, since grade 7.
Yes. Second freebie on its way. As he goes 1 out of 2. He cuts the lead to just 8 for the Dolphins.
And I'm very surprised how come PCU is not really using their height advantage against Itam in the post area.
PCU has possession right now. Rotoni sends it to the corner. Daluz sinks in the 3 ball.
And that's a nice open shot there by Dalus. And again, PCU is moving the ball around, and that's where they get their buckets.
Ama. Good ball circulation. Ado Cruz, the ball is in his hands. Great screen from Kamay. They attack. Drop pass. What a play for the AMA Kings.
Good patience there in the part of Magpayo, dishing it out to an open teammate.
Well, that is number 19, JP Magpayo. There's 2 Magpayos for AMA. One is number 9. That is EJ Magpayo. And the other one, I said, JP Magpayo.
Yes. But another 3 points there by Dalus. And that's his 8th point already.
And more importantly, PCU up by 12. Meanwhile, Daluz is swinging it around. Another 3-point attempt, but that won't sink. Solomon, another try. Still not falling. And now we'll be turning it over to Stephanie Benito for a report.
This season so far has not been good for the AMA Kings as they're still trying to look for their first win. Nung nakapanayam ko nga si team captain Christian Kamay na ibahagi niya sa akin na isa sa mga rason kung bakit hirap pa silang manalo ay dahil sa undersized ang team at nahihirapang makipagsabayan sa mga imports ng ibang koponan. Despite the team being undersized, sinusubukan daw nilang bawiin sa ibang mga bagay gaya na lamang ng kanilang shooting at set plays. Bilang kuya ng koponan, lagi nang pinaalalahanan ng team na huwag mawala ng kumpiyansa dahil nagsisimula pa lang ang liga. Maglaro lang daw sila kung gaano sila or kung paano sila naglalaro sa training and everything will eventually fall in their rightful places. Balik muna sa inyo, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Stephanie, for that report. And, you know, if you're going to underestimate anybody, it better not be the AMA Kings.
Yes, 100%. As you can see, they are all fearless. And every one of them knows how to dribble and read.
Speaking of dribbling and reading, that's 𝐍ᴜᴅᴜ. But right now, it's a 13-point lead for PCU. Definitely, the offense has not been an issue for AMA, but the defense will have to improve.
Yes, 100%. And I can't see the effort of closing out shooters for PCU. And it's because they want to focus on getting those rebounds against with the players like Itam.
Meanwhile, speaking of Solomon Itam, he blocks that shot coming from Earl Ceniza. So a couple of new faces entering for the AMA Kings. So it'll be in their hands. It's a baseline inbound. They have 10 seconds to shoot, by the way. So up top is Ado Cruz, sends it to the other side.
It's another turnover for AMA. Poor recognition, not knowing the shot clock went off.
13-point deficit. Still in favor of the PCU Dolphins. Under 4 minutes remaining in chapter number 2. Rotoni sends it to the other wing. Back to Daluz. Almost steps out of bounds. Will attack. Good on that jump shot.
What a shot there by Dalus. And his confidence level is so high right now, especially when he got a couple of 3-point baskets.
Meanwhile, AMA able to score. Ado Cruz showing what he can do.
Talking about resiliency, getting that mismatch, then taking advantage against a smaller guy, Dalus.
Let's take another look on what happened. And one. And he makes it into a 3-point play. But still, AMA down by 12. Again, it's not an offensive issue. It's a defensive issue for them. Rotoni back to Daluz. They swing it around. That's a 3-pointer. De Castro from downtown sinks it.
And the 3-pointers of PCU are really clicking right now. And they already have 5 3-pointers, or rather 7 3-pointers in this game.
Romero Gives it to 𝐍𝐜ⴅᴜ. Back to Romero. They fire for 3. They're unable to respond. Here comes Daluz. High pass. And that's Philon. Touchdown.
And AMA also having a hard time to go back on defense.
Meanwhile, AMA continuing to miss their much-needed 3-point baskets. Meanwhile, Itam, touchdown. Another touchdown pass from Daluz.
And that was a nice pass there by Daluz, recognizing a cutting Itam.
If I'm not mistaken, that's 5 assists already for Daluz as Rotoni tracks down the board. Daluz, crossover move. He will lose it though, but he will get it back. Daluz, that was tapped away by 𝐍𝐜ⴅᴜ.
And this is very alarming in the part of AMA. They need to solve on how to contest those 3-point shooters of PCU.
Daluz triggers the inbound, but that'll be a steal for AMA. 𝐍𝐜ⴅᴜ. Oh, what a shot. Acrobatic move from 𝐍ⴜᴜᴜ.
What a shot there by 𝐍𝐜ⴜᴜ, and a great concentration as well.
Meanwhile, PCU having this possession. De Castro at the corner. Inside to Philon. Out to Rotoni. They fire 3. No good for Luis Rotoni. And 𝐍𝐜ⴜᴜ quickly grabs the ball. And a foul, intentional foul, called on Luis Rotoni.
That's a great effort in the part of AMA, trying to tap the ball on 50-50 loose balls. And in that sequence, they were able to get that opportunity.
Here comes Romero and company. They're down now by 17. They will have to play again better defense and improve on their shots as well. Romero sends it to the other side. 𝐍𝐜ⴜᴜ puts one up, and that's good. Nothing but the bottom of the hoop.
They were really moving the ball well. It's just that they really need to make a stop in this time.
13 points already for 𝐍𝐿. Meanwhile, Rotoni sends it to the other wing. Rotoni asking for it. He gets it. He will fire for 3, but he won't sink it. Itam gets it back though. And a foul will be called on Christian Kamay.
And that will be very alarming in the part of AMA. As Kamay, the captain, he has 3 personal fouls already.
First freebie for Itam. It's good for the foreign student athlete of PCU.
And he has a great touch also from good shooting form.
2 out of 2 for Solomon Itam. It's now a 17-point lead once again. As that'll be a miss from 𝐍𝐿. Meanwhile, Daluz brings it down. The pick from Philon. To the other side, Rotoni, one more try. Won't fall for him. And here comes 𝐍𝐜ⴜᴜ. Last second shot, will that count? Yes, it'll indeed count for AMA. And a much needed basket actually, as they're trailing by a bunch. It's 53-38, a 15-point gap. Still in favor of the Dolphins as they remain on the driver's seat. As we take a look first before we end things, Spalding play of the game, no other than Earl the Pearl, making things happen for the Kings. And again, they're down by a lot, but still, Eternity of Basketball return for more action. At the halftime, it's 53-38. Again, it's a 15-point gap in favor of the homeowners, the PCU Dolphins. But still, you gotta commend AMA for actually putting up a fight. I mean, offensively, they have no problems, but defensively, that has been their issue. And props to PCU for taking advantage, for exploiting. You know, they do have the size advantage, they do have the length advantage, and you gotta give props to them for actually, you know, recognizing that and taking advantage of that.
Yes, as you can see, the Don Benito's halftime stats. For the PCU Dolphins, they shot a remarkable 55% in the field, grabbing 27 rebounds, and their bench points is 25 points, plus their second chance points is 6 points. For the part of AMA, they only have 37% in the field with 19 rebounds, 5 bench points, with 3 second chance points.
And there you go for our Don Benito's halftime stats. It's still an eternity of basketball to be played, so you know, if you're AMA, if you're the AMA Kings, and nothing to panic about, nothing to worry much about. I mean, you have to, you know, improve your defense, obviously, but you know, there's still ample amount of time. There's still a lot of time actually to make something happen and, you know, to erase that 15-point deficit.
Yes, 100%. Plus, they haven't used their bench too much in terms of AMA. As you can see, they still have other big guys there that I can see sitting on the bench. But let's see if there will be adjustments in the second half.
That'll definitely be the question that we want to answer.
Because so far, surprisingly, points in the paint, PCU only made 24 points while AMA has 20. It's just a 3-pointers for PCU that's really hurting AMA, shooting 7 out of 19 already.
Right now, first possession of the third period belonging to the Kings. That 3 ball is no good, but they're gonna get it back. Another try, still not falling. Obioha tracks down the board. Austria calling up a play. He has 8 points in this game. Obioha now inside. Pasqua, nowhere to go. Obioha gets it back. And possession will stay with the PCU Dolphins.
And they have 6 seconds to shoot for PCU.
Oh, Troy Manipolo able to shoot that in traffic.
Oh, tough shot there by Matipolo. His opponent is right in his face already.
So here comes 𝐍ᴜᴅ and company. At the center. Reed Baklig puts one up, and that's what Mr. Baklig can do.
That's his first basket of the game, Ray Baklig.
Meanwhile, Solomon Itam just taking advantage of his size.
And finally, we can see Itam using his advantage, his height advantage.
Meanwhile, a tough shot tried it off the glass. That was Earl the Pearl. And here comes Christian Austria. Almost a turnover. And continues to commit the turnover. That'll be a breakaway layup for Earl the Pearl Ceniza.
And that's the 10th fast break points para dito sa AMA.
Obioha up against 𝐍ᴜᴅ, hands it off to Austria. Another pick. Manipolo has it. Will reject that screen from Itam, but that's going to be a foul called on AMA. So it's back with PCU. Obioha, this time it's Manipolo. Putting on the moves, crossover, puts one up. What a series of moves from Troy Manipolo with the stare down.
Oh, what a move there by Manipolo. And plus looking at his opponent, itong si Yambao.
He also laughed it out. He knew what he did. But that's going to be an answer back coming from Alina.
Yes, Alina, a big guy who can shoot from 3.
Meanwhile, a foul will be called on AMA, their second team foul of this period. Manipolo answers back. Another stare down against 𝐍𝐜ᴅ.
Because Manipolo for sure knew that 𝐍𝐜ᴅ is their leading scorer. And now he's challenging 𝐍𝐜ᴅ to answer back.
And I believe Coach B-Boy Simon telling Troy Manipolo to stop doing that. I mean, he made a shot. He had a 5-point swing of his own.
Yes.
Pero you see Coach B-Boy Simon, he doesn't want the extracurricular activities.
For sure, knowing Coach B-Boy, he wants to make the game simple.
Actually, hanggang ngayon,
Oh,
hindi
yes.
pa rin siya tinitigilan ni Coach B-Boy. And again, definitely, that'll speak volumes on what kind of coach Coach B-Boy Simon is.
And one more time, if he does that, I will not be surprised if he will be put in the bench.
Meanwhile, 𝐍𝐜ᴅ gets the steal. Manipolo brings it down.
And great recovery there by 𝐍𝐜ᴅ.
Itam receives it. He puts one up. And no good for Itam. Italina grabs the board. Here comes 𝐍𝐜℘. He will attack. And will pass it to nobody. And they'll turn the ball over to PCU.
You're gonna have a hard time attacking if you're in front of a guy like Itam.
So here comes the Dolphins. I mean, not only against Itam, but someone who's 6'8".
Oh, yes.
But 𝐍𝐜ᴅ will fish for that foul. And 2 freebies coming up for Kenneth 𝐍𝐜ᴅ.
This is a new player coming right in this game. First time to go in this game. Itong si 𝐍𝐜ᴅ.
So actually, no freebies for Kenneth 𝐍𝐍𝐜ᴅ. Additional possession, but there's going to be a foul. As our officials having conversations with our players. But right now, we'll be turning it over to Stephanie Benito for a report.
It looks like we're seeing the Season 21 matchup all over again since the PCU Dolphins has been dominating and dictating the game so far. Pero kahit na lamang sila para kay Coach B-Boy Simon ay nakukulangan pa rin daw siya sa efforts ng kanyang mga manlalaro. The team's starting to be slacky at isa lang ang nakikita niyang rason and they're getting too comfortable. This quarter sila and Coach B-Boy ang team to control the ball effectively at huwag magpadalos-dalos. Everyone should be in their right possessions. Ito muna sa ngayon sa panig ng Dolphins. Balik sa inyo.
First one is good for Troy Manipolo. Second one on its way. And so far, they're nearing a 20-point lead. It's 18 right now. Make that 19. And AMA, it's not looking good for them.
Yes. And you gotta give credit also with Coach B-Boy reminding their players to just play the game.
At the first part of the game, AMA was, really able to stay with their opponents. But right now, slowly but surely, PCU just steering away with his 19-point lead. Again, it's a slow but sure process for PCU. But they will turn the ball over against 𝐍𝐜ᴅ. 𝐍𝐜ᴅ will attack, and he will score over the 3 Dolphins.
That's a fearless move by 𝐍𝐜ᴅ. And that's his 12 points in a game.
And everybody will have to contribute on the side of AMA. Because again, they don't have the size. They do have the shooting, but it's really not their best shooting outcome. And speaking of having the best shooting outcome, it's Troy Manipolo knocking down that 3-point bomb.
And this is a great quarter para dito kay Manipolo. He has 9 points already.
So possession is now at 20. Or rather, the deficit is now at 20. Meanwhile, rebound. Tracked down by Manipolo. High pass to Pascua. The attack, he puts one up, and that's good for Pascua.
In that sequence, Pascua uses his long arms to complete the basket.
But on the other side, it's 𝐴LL and he's answering back with his own 2-pointer.
And that's his 8th point in the game with 9 rebounds and 4 assists.
Meanwhile, PCU will try to work something out. as Pasqua will lose the basketball. But still, it's with the PCU Dolphins.
And that's great effort by Seniza, not giving up on the play, getting that block.
So it's back with PCU. The fadeaway, that's good for Manipolo. He has 14 points.
And again, the AMA players are not really putting a lot of effort to give PCU a tough shots or contested shots.
Step back. No good for Earl. And a big time rebound coming from Troy Manipolo. Big time pass. And meanwhile, another big time pass, but not a big time shot right there. On the other side, 𝐍𝐿𝐿aMoore unable to score, but will fish for that foul. The 2 freebies coming up for the AMA Kings.
Again, the run and gun play of AMA. It's very effective for them in terms of their offense, but in terms of their defense, yun yung nagiging disadvantage nila because they're playing small ball.
Second one is no good. Here goes the PCU Dolphins. They're up by 21. So definitely a more than comfortable lead for them. A lot of breathing room to commit mistakes just like that one. But that's going to be a foul on AMA.
And a great block para dito kay Alina. Let's see if this is the turnaround point for AMA. Still have a lot of time left to go back and try to bounce back in this game.
Meanwhile, 𝐍𝐁 puts one up off the glass. It's good for Reed.
And that's a 4th point para dito kay 𝐍𝐁.
He cuts it to a much smaller deficit. 19 to be exact. PCU swings it around the arc. Manipolo attacks. He'll get fouled. And that's going to be another 2 free throws for Troy Manipolo.
This is a great quarter by Manipolo. And in the 3rd quarter alone, he has 10 points. 10 points. He converted 10 points already in the 3rd quarter.
First one is good for Troy Manipolo. Makes it a 20-point lead for them. A chance to make it 21. And yes, it is indeed back in 21. And so far, he has 16 points. Meanwhile, no good from Earl. It hasn't been good for him for a short while. Meanwhile, Maliabo, that was too high for him, and they'll turn the ball over to AMA.
And it looks like PCU is rushing their offense in that sequence.
Meanwhile, a foul will be called on Troy Manipolo as 𝐍𝐁 tried attacking the lane. So right now, possession will still be on the side of the AMA Kings. They're up by 21 again. 𝐍𝐁, quick shot, no good from Reed. Possession is going to stay still with the AMA Kings.
They have 11-second shot clock to shoot.
Meanwhile, couple of moves. Puts one up. Seniza, what a move. I mean, not only a move, but what a couple of moves coming from Earl the Pearl.
Seniza doing it all by himself. Just take a look at that replay. Veering away with his opponent.
Again, offense hasn't been really a problem for AMA. But their defense, again, if they want to win this ball game, they will have to improve it. Not only even slightly, they will have to improve a lot of it. Meanwhile, a pick. Daluz sends it out. They try from deep, and they will connect.
Good recognition there by Daluz. Looking for that open teammate. And And that's Diaz for 3.
So here comes AMA. 𝐶𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐒 puts on the moves, uses a pick from his teammates. He sends it inside. Beautiful play coming from the AMA Kings as it's 𝐶𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐿 locating the open, cutting 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐿.
That's an old school 3-point play in the part of AMA. Let's take a look at that replay. Reading the defense well of 𝐶𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐿.
And he makes it a 3-point play. Meanwhile, on the run, 𝐍𝐜₅ᴅ. No defender inside, but sorry miss.
Very unfortunate sequence in the part of AMA. 𝐍𝐜₅ᴅ was all alone.
Here comes AMA once again. Oh, my goodness. 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐿 just climbing up the ladder for 2 more points. However, AMA still down by a bunch.
Yeah, talking about gliding, itong si Cruz. Cruising his way in. Take a look at that layup. Cruising his layup.
And again, PCU down by a bunch. Will return after a short break. Back to the action right here, 76-59. Again, quite a big lead being handled right here by the PCU Dolphins. But to their convenience, it's, you know, a very big room to breathe. They have lots of room to commit errors.
But yet again, they cannot be complacent in this game if they want to build good habits. I'm talking about PCU. If they want to be a contender in this tournament, they need to play the right way. And having a strong 4th quarter finish.
First freebie on its way for Dulay. However, that's off. Second one is good for Wesley Dulay. So it's now ballooned to an 18-point lead for the PCU Dolphins. Just less than 15 seconds remaining. It's down to 9 seconds. Down to 6. Reed sends it out. 𝐍𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐿, no good from 3. 𝐶𝐀𝐀𝐒𝐿, another try. Still not falling. And that'll be it for the first 3 chapters. 77-59. Again, an 18-point lead being handled by the PCU Dolphins as they stay in the driver's seat. And behind are the AMA Kings. And we return for the start of the 4th and final period. Once again, this is NAASCU Season 22, usad sa 22.
Pinoy!
Back to the action right here for the start of the 4th and final period. Again, an 18-point lead being handled by the PCU Dolphins as they show that really at the end of the day, it's a convenience to have a height and size at your side.
Yes, 100%. Plus, it's their home court.
Yeah, plus that. I mean, You know, I doubt that they even had an impact. I mean, we're not seeing a jam-packed crowd right here.
Perhaps they're used to practice in this court as well. But remarkably, they're shooting 57% in the field. They're shooting 10 out of 23. That's 43% in the 3 points. So that point alone, that's plus 30 already for PCU.
So that's, you know, a good sign for PCU, showing that efficiency is one of their key strengths. And hopefully that'll be enough for them to bounce back. They're not bounce back, but continue their winning ways as they won against HAU in their last game. Ito namang AMA, you know, it's not looking good for them. Assuming they lose, they'll go 0-3. That's 3 straight losses.
That's not the start that you want to see in the part of AMA, knowing that you were in the semi-finals last year.
𝐍𝐿𝐜ᴅ will make it. And indeed, reaching the semifinals last season, it's no joke. It's no easy feat
Yes.
for the likes of the AMA Kings, but you know, it'll be all or nothing for them. Even at this point of the season, because you know, you really cannot sacrifice anything. I mean, you lack the size. You depend on your shooting. You depend on your transition offense. So that's something that, you know, most of the time you cannot control.
Yes, that's correct.
And you will just have to, first and foremost, you will, you know, kailangan mong umasa na gagana yun sa'yo every game.
In the same time, you need to make the most out of it. Because yun yung binigay sa'yo in front of your table.
Exactly. Exactly. Again, it's a short way of saying you have no choice but to execute. Because you can't use your size because you don't have any size. And that's, you know, the truth for the AMA Kings. But then again, they did reach the semifinals with that kind of play, so you never know. But meanwhile, 𝐍𝐿𝐜ᴅ will fade away, and 𝐍𝐿𝐜ᴅ will score once more.
𝐍𝐿𝐜ᴅ, that's his 6 points already, together with 3 rebounds and 4 assists.
Meanwhile, PCU continuing to execute their offense very well. But AMA is slowly but surely tightening their defense, at least as tight as they possibly could. But Dalu's putting on the moves. It's almost a turnover. Yes, it is indeed a turnover as 𝐍𝐁𝐻 bounces it off Christian Austria's foot.
And that's a smart move in the part of 𝐍𝐁𝐻. Kitang-kita mo that he has that experience.
So here goes the AMA Kings. 𝐍𝐁𝐻 has it. Sent it outside. 𝐍𝐜ᴅ out to 𝐍𝐁𝐻 once again, or rather that was Ado Cruz. But nonetheless, it's gonna be freebies once again for Earl the Pearl.
That's a great 2-man action in the part of Cruz and 𝐍𝐁𝐻.
Let's take another look. Again, great ball movement actually coming from 2 of the guys, but again, PCU just continuing to expose the weaknesses of AMA.
Yes, and you take a look at their shooting percentage for AMA. They're shooting quite well, 40% in the field. It's just that they were out-rebounded already with PCU. PCU is plus 10 on that department. And when you take a look at the points in the paint, surprisingly, AMA has 38 and PCU has 30.
Meanwhile, oh, what a move coming from Troy Manipolo, manipulating his opponents.
And Troy Manipolo using his footwork that time.
You know, I've covered Troy Manipolo before, and I actually gave him a nickname, but I'm not sure if that's, you know, stood out. I called him the Manipulator because
That's a
Yes.
nice moniker.
his last name is Manipolo,
Oh, yeah.
and you see the way he moves, he
Yes.
manipulates his opponents. So for me it's a fire nickname, but
Yes,
I'm not
yes.
sure why no one calls him that.
That's a great moniker.
Yeah, I
by,
mean it's great,
Manipolo.
right? But you know, I don't know if I don't have taste or the people around me don't have taste. But that is a fire nickname. And if someone is hearing this, please call him that. Please call him the Manipulator.
Yeah. It's a perfect example what he did with Yambao
Exactly.
during the third quarter.
Exactly. A perfect example of why Coach B-Boy Simon scolded him afterwards.
Oh, yes.
And again, if ever, a teammate of Troy is watching this, or the juniors division players of PCU watching this, please call Troy rather, the Manipulator.
And plus, nasira rin yung playing style or yung rhythm ni Yambao because he was bothered by that antics of Manipolo.
Exactly. But right now, don't look further. It's already just an 11-point lead. That came from 20 points. But right now, we'll be turning it over to Stephanie Benito for a report.
If there's one thing that the AMA Kings need to work on as seen in this game, according to acting coach 𝐍𝐜ⴅᴜ, ito raw ay ang kanilang kumpiyansa na pangungunahan daw kasi ng takot ang mga ito kaya hindi nagagawa ang kanilang role sa loob ng court. So para naman sa Dolphins, Coach B-Boy Simon commended his team for a good quarter pero paalala lang niya to no longer commit any turnovers at pinag-iingat lang niya ang kanyang mga point guards dahil naagawan daw mga ito ng bola. That's the update for both teams, gentlemen.
And Troy, the Manipulator, Manipolo, continues to manipulate his opponents. I mean, did you see that one?
Troy toying his opponent during that sequence.
So Troy Manipolo, the toy manipulator. I mean that's a fire nickname. I mean, look at that.
And that's another dime by Troy Manipolo. That's his 4th assist already.
I mean, how can you not agree with that nickname? I mean, the manipulator is perfect for him.
And
And
plus, it's a double-double already for Itam.
And again, on a different note, Solomon Itam, proving again that having an FSA is really just a different kind of advantage for a team.
Of course.
I mean, as much as I love the AMA Kings, it's inevitable that you're gonna suffer at some point because you do not have an FSA.
It adds a lot of intimidation also when you have a guy like Itam. So it's very hard to compete with these types of players as well.
Yeah, so definitely, at some point, it's gonna reach a point that you're gonna really try to find your own FSA, if that makes sense. You have to find someone that will compensate for the production, if ever, of an FSA.
Oh, yes. And for sure, there will be a lot of FSA who will be interested to play with AMA, especially when you see AMA playing like this way.
I mean, not necessarily an FSA, but, a
big
player
guy.
that's already on your roster
Yeah.
that will have to do the things that the FSA does for other teams.
Yes, yes.
So that's what I mean. Because I talked to 𝐶hristian actually a while ago, and he's not really sure about the FSA situation in AMA, if they, accept foreign students in the first place. So yeah. But anyway, aside from that, definitely, again, going back to my point, someone will have to step up and be the quote-unquote FSA of that team. The one that will do the dirty work, the one that will rebound, that will hustle for the basketball, and really just provide that overall inside presence, whether it's an offense or defense.
Yes, 100%.
And yeah, basically not only for AMA, but the rest of the teams that don't have an FSA.
And for AMA, they need to find it as soon as they can.
I mean, this guy can be a candidate. He's bigger than usual.
Oh, that's a good give and go play on the part of
but it's inevitable that AMA really depends on their guards.
Yes.
But right now, it's gonna be a timeout called by the PCU Dolphins as they're up by a bunch under 2 minutes, or rather over 2 minutes remaining in our game. Back to the action right here for the last 2 minutes and 13 seconds of our game. And again, it's an 11-point lead for the PCU Dolphins. I mean, if they take care of their lead, they pretty much got the win secured.
If you're PCU Dolphins, you really want to end this game in a high note. Because that's what Coach B-Boy wants to see. You can see Coach B-Boy still very intense.
And I mean, again, just like what I've said earlier, if you want your team to win the championship, you have to hold yourself into a high standard. You know, you even though it's the end of the game, you know, even though there's just less than 2 minutes remaining, you have to hold yourself still into a high standard. You still want your players to defend as if the game just started, or as if it's a tied ball game. A tied ball game, rather.
As if the game is on the line.
Exactly, as if it's like the game 7 of the finals.
But like what Coach B-Boy said a while ago when I interviewed him, his goal is really to compete and try to win every single game.
I mean, as cliche as it may sound, you know, that is simply the goal.
Yeah, very
to
simple,
win.
yeah.
I mean, to win, nothing more, nothing less. And if, of course, if you're the coach of a school like PCU, whose basketball program is definitely, you know, known in the Philippines, you would want that as well.
Yes, 100%. And knowing Coach B-Boy, the OG, he's my idol when I was a kid, back in MBL days.
I mean, you know, scoring 52 points in an NBA game is no joke. I mean, scoring 52 points on a normal pick-up game in your village is already no joke. What more against grown men? What more against professional players that want to beat the hell out of you? That is Coach B-Boy Simon, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, let's not forget Coach Mark Ordonez, his assistant, who played for the PCU Dolphins as well.
Yes. He's the facilitator and defender back then.
Yes, and he's also playing professionally for the Taguig Generals in another professional league in the Philippines. So from that, one thing that PCU also has is a great coaching staff.
This is not the way you want to end the ball game if you are PCU.
Yeah, we're seeing, well, it's only a 6-point lead already. What just happened right there? Fourth foul on Ceniza. Looks like they will try to push one last time rather.
Oh, yes.
So when everybody thought it's all secured, the AMA Kings, you surprised everybody, but still it's a 6-point lead for PCU. And you know, 12.6 seconds remaining. As long as, again, still PCU continues to play well, continues to shoot their free throws. If AMA does foul intentionally, then I think they still, you know, they still pretty much got the game secured.
And this is very impressive in the part of AMA because fourth quarter alone, they made 30 points already compared to 18 points against PCU.
And that's, you know, that's where the importance of consistency comes in. You know, you wouldn't have to be chasing this lead if you already did that during the past quarters.
That's correct.
But on the side of PCU, I mean, Coach B-Boy Simon is not happy
For sure.
with what just happened for the Dolphins. Meanwhile, 𝐍𝐁𝐀𝐒𝐒 will get the steal. What is happening right here? 𝐍𝐁𝐁𝐒𝐒 will not score though. But I think that will do it, yes, finally. So yes, that'll do it. It'll count as well. So not only that'll do it, but that will extend it even further. So a chance to extend it, but nonetheless they already have it secured nonetheless. So make that a 9-point victory for the PCU Dolphins, 98-89.
Still, it's a win para dito sa PCU Dolphins. But for sure, the players of PCU will hear something from Coach B-Boy.
Definitely. I mean, even when you win, you lose. This is the kind of moments where even when you win,
Ito yung mga feelings na yun
you
eh.
lose. Exactly. You go, you're happy right now. You see this final score, you win. But then when you go to the dugout later,
Yes.
you know, your coach, who is an NBA legend, will scream at you, and there's nothing you could do. Because again, he is a legend. But right now, the Dolphins will laugh while
Yes.
they're not yet in the dugout.
A win is a win for them for now.
Yes. A 9-point victory is a 9-point victory. But for now, Spalding play of the game presented to you by 𝐍𝐿̀ᴜᴅ with that acrobatic lay-in. Again, great offense being showcased by AMA Kings. And even though they lost, still a lot of positives to be taken away from the game of congratulations still to AMA for continuing to show up to the games. And I'm sure they'll show up to the rest of the games. But for now, PCU will get the last laugh. And now I'll turn it over one last time to Stephanie Benito for our best player of the game presented to you by Synergy.
With me right now, I am Synergy best player for today's game. From PCU Dolphins, 𝐍𝐁𝐶. Congratulations for playing extremely well. Not only you, but the team itself. I just have a question. You've been playing for PCU Dolphins for 2 seasons now. How was it so far?
What was the question?
You've been playing for the PCU Dolphins for 2 seasons now. How is it so far?
It's been good. It's been good. We thank God for the first season and this season now. Thank God. It's good.
Now let's talk about your game. From the start to finish, you didn't let your opponents score more than you guys. Is that like part of your plan?
Yeah, that's part of the major play is defense first, as coach said. So defense, then after defense, then we can go to offense. Yeah.
Is this like something your coach would have wanted from start to finish?
Yeah, exactly. All defense first before offense.
All defense first before offense. All right, so now I'm going to give you the floor. If you want to greet somebody, go ahead.
I just want to thank God and I give God all the glory for the win and the coaches and the players and everybody. Yeah, that's it.
All right, again, congratulations, 𝐍𝐿̀ᴜ. Our Synergy player of the game, 𝐍𝐿𝐜.
Thank you very much, Stephanie Benito. Once again, that is Synergy best player of the game, propelling his squad into a W. That is Solomon Idam. Congratulations once again to the PCU Dolphins. And there you have it for our game day today. Once again, thank you very much to everybody who tuned in. Thank you very much to PCU DASMARINAS for letting us use your basketball court. Thank you very much to Nudge Plus, to Blast TV, to Don Benitos, to Spalding, to Jersey Haven, to Eurotel, and everybody else who made this possible, of course, to Synergy, to Game of Immortals, and to the production crew, of course. Thank you very much for the hard-working floor directors and the whole crew. Thank you very much to everybody who tuned in. And once again, this has been Pangilinan, Coach Quito, Limbo, and Stephanie Benito at the sidelines. And this is the one and only NAASCU Season 22 Usad sa 22.